Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Tony and this video it's about how can you get any of your questions being answered by the universe, and this is a technique that doesn't require you to use tarot or any other divination technique. So it's a very simple method that I use sometimes when I'm not quite sure about where a certain decision is gonna lead me to. I'm gonna use a very simple question in this case, and let's say that you always wanted to be a writer, and this is a career that you always wanted to follow, to chase and to develop yourself at, to literally become a writer. And you're an accountant right now, so you want to know if you change your job, the new field that you so much desire to develop into is going to be beneficial, abundant, and professionally successful for you. So what you need to do is literally close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, relax your mind, and when you feel that you are in a quiet and relaxed mode, you ask for your highest self presence to appear in your improvised meditation. And what is your highest self? Well, this is the highest expression of you, directly connected with Source, the universe, God, whatever you want to call it. So this is a source that you can literally completely trust. This is entity that really knows who you are, where you've been, where you're going. And my opinion, this is a source that you can always count on, because this is literally you, but the highest expression of you, without your everyday mundane doubts, insecurities, and so on and so on. You get the idea. But let's say that the highest self-presence, it's a concept that you don't relate to. You can always ask your question to the universe, or to God, or to your guardian angel. It doesn't really matter who you're gonna point it, who you're gonna direct your question to, as long as you trust the entity that you're gonna ask your question to. So let's say that you feel more secure to ask the universe. And let's go back to your meditational and relaxed mode, in which when you are completely relaxed and in a quiet and very secure mode, you ask your question to the universe and you say, "Dear universe, I would like to change my job and follow a career that I always wanted to follow, because this is what I've always dreamed of developing and being part of. So what will be the result if I change my job and follow this career path that I so much desire to be part of and to, develop myself in? Is it going to be abundant to me? Is it going to be successful professionally and personally to myself? And if this is so, let me see," and I'm going to use a very simple number, 777. Let me see the number 777 in the next 24 hours. Thank you, universe. Thank you for your support, or thank you, my highest self-presence. Thank you for your support. And the time frame that I used is 24 hours, but if you feel much more secure in using a shorter period, you can say, let's say it's 10 o'clock in the morning and you want to have your answer faster. You say, "Let me have my answer in the next 12 hours from 10 in the morning till 10 in the evening." And then Of course, you continue with your everyday things, the things that you need to do, your schedule, so to speak, but you follow all the numbers and all the patterns of numbers that cross your awareness in that window of time that you selected, 12 hours, 24 hours. For more difficult questions, I use 48 hours. And so, let's say that you open your social media, whatever that is, or you open the TV, and all of a sudden this number pops up and it's 777. Here you go. You have your question being answered. And of course, if in this time frame that you selected you don't have sight of this number, well, you also got your question answered, but unfortunately in this case it's no, it's not good for you to change your career, or at least not the right moment, the right period. You can, of course, be asking this question again in a period of time, and of course doesn't have to be the next day. You wait a while, you have your own let's say investigation about all the details that you need to be aware of in order for you to change your job. But of course, in a period, let's say 2 weeks, again you can ask your question in the same way. And here are a few tips about how to really be utilizing this technique. First, in order for you to develop the technique itself, it's good for you to start asking very simple questions with which to begin the exploration of this technique. For example, you ask for the next 12 hours if you see the number 1111. If, for example, your friend who was not really let's say kind to you is going to call and apologize in the next let's say by the end of this week, you start with something very simple like that. For example, you say, dear universe, will Anna is going to call me by the end of this week to apologize for what she said. And this is a very simple example of a very simple question. This is not the end of the world if she calls or if she doesn't. I mean, this is the idea, not to use a very complicated question in order just to follow the patterns of how your answer is going to be delivered to you. This is the first tip. Start with simple questions. The second technique, the second tip in this technique is actually follow the patterns of the numbers that you use. And what do I mean by that? When you start to use this technique, of course, you're gonna use numbers that are very easy for you to recognize when you cross paths with them. For example, I'm gonna give you, by my own experience, numbers that are easy to recognize. And of course, this is 111 or this is 2222. These are the easy numbers. By my own experience, the hard numbers that are very hard to get through by coincidence, because let's be honest, it's quite easy to see the number 111 or 2222 on let's say time frame of 24 hours, but when it comes to 1 2 3 4, that's a very hard number to see, by the way, or 2 3 4 5, that's another hard number. I mean, it's not so common for you to see a plate of a car carrying 1 2 3 4 or 2 3 4 5, so to speak, or it can be a shorter or longer number. It depends on where you are and what are the patterns that you see, for example, or car plates. And another very rare number to see, for example, is, of course, this is by my own opinion, this is 8888. So when you start to develop this technique with simple questions, you're gonna start to recognize that some numbers are much more frequent by appearance, and there are some other numbers that are not so common to see in let's say 24 or 48 hours of a period. And that's very important, because when it comes to hard questions or questions that are really important to you, and you don't want to mislead yourself by asking a very hard question and asking the universe or your highest self to present you with for example 111, because by my opinion this would be considered cheating, and you don't want to cheat when it comes to having a fair, honest response by the universe with the information that is quite important to you. So starting to use this technique, you're gonna recognize for yourself what numbers are more frequently appearing around you and what numbers are not frequently appearing around you. So for example, if you want to ask a question that is very serious and important to you, of course, you ask as a clarifying number to be appearing in your answer or not appearing, either way, a number that it's not so frequently appearing around you. And I gave you an example with let's say 1 2 3 4 or 8888. So if you want to ask a simple question like, for example, is it good for me to go out this weekend? And of course it's not so significant of an answer. I mean, it's not so significant if you're gonna receive yes or no, but it's important for you to develop your own technique. I mean, you get the idea. Ask simple questions for a period up till the moment when you feel secure that you are not cheating, you are not manipulating the situation so that you run into a number that you frequently see, just to support yourself when it comes to a very difficult or very important question or decision that you need to make. So it's a very simple technique. It works brilliantly, for me at least, and it's a very direct approach for you to communicate with the universe, with your highest self, or your guardian angel, whatever you feel comfortable to be communicating with. But you will be surprised with the results, and you can ask simple questions up till the moment that you feel secure enough to ask harder questions. And then when you start to ask the hard questions, well, here is where the miracle really appears, because I'll give you a personal example. When I have a very important decision to make or important question to ask, for example, will I have success in a court case, something that I worked, for example, for the last 7-8 years to deliver a good result in a court case. I ask the universe and I collect the answer that it's gonna provide me with, and then I clarify this answer, or parallel to this technique I go to my astrologist, I go to a clairvoyant or any other source you can use for from coming from a tarot reader, from any kind of a person that can provide you with the answers that you want to know about the future. And then you're gonna be really amazed, because all these other techniques, tarot, astrology, clairvoyance, usually they confirm the same answer that the universe provided you with. And I'm not asking you to believe me just because I said that. Try it for yourself. But when you get your own, let's say, security to use this technique, and when you see how it works for you, please let me know in the comments below if this is the case, and if you can really utilize this very simple approach to get your answer by the universe to any question that you want to ask. Thank you for your time.